Once again. So I remember in our last class, we discussed media tags, right? And I told us that these are set of tags which are primarily used for adding or embedding media file in a website or in web pages, right? Now we mentioned 4 of them, started with the video tag, the audio tag, and then we have the image tag as well. Well, we skipped that very well because we have already done that before getting to this topic. Then I said there is one more that we are yet to cover, which is called the iframe tag. It's part of the media tags. So let's look at what we have been able to publish or develop so far. Okay, so like I was saying, this is what we developed or what we have developed so far. And mind you, our intention to create this is not as if we have started creating a website. So we have only put this together because we are confirming some of these tags. All right, so this is where we confirm the heading tag. This is where we confirm the P tag. This is where we also confirm the P tag. This is where we confirm the image tag. This is where we confirm what? The video tag. And then this is where we confirm the audio tag. So what we are doing right now is we are learning the building blocks, what we are going to use to build the real website. That is what we are mastering. That is why the topic is HTML tags / CSS what? Properties mastering, right? Okay, so we are also learning CSS alongside with the HTML, which is a markup language used for creating website content. The markup language which is used for defining a website what? Structure. And then, like I said, we are also learning CSS, which is another language for beautifying the content. So it is the CSS that helps us to convert this image to what? A circular what? Image. It is the CSS that helps us to color. Okay, so that we know why we are learning both of them together. Now, let's quickly start with the iframe tag. So let's write HTML iframe tag. HTML iframe tag. All you need to do is to leave space. I believe you must have checked what they have written and then left that space so that you can continue from where we are. HTML what? Iframe tag. So how do we define iframe tag? Right. The HTML iframe tag is used to embed another HTML document, underline another HTML document. It is used to embed another HTML document within a web page. Underline another HTML document within a web page. Then full stop, paragraph. It allows you to display content from another source. Underline that section as well. It allows you to display content from another source. It allows you to display content from what? Another source, such as websites, video within your own web page, such as website, video within your own web page. So let me just pause and explain it in a layman term that even if they wake you up from sleep and they ask you what is the function of iframe, you will be able to what? To answer it correctly. Now pay attention, pay attention, Pay attention. Okay. Now, what I'm saying is that I want to cite a practical scenario where you will need what? The iframe. That is the best way to learn and master these tags. Don't just learn them just for application's sake. Try and also understand the situation that we call for each of them that you are learning. You know, I told us that when we are learning how to publish this heading, there was a reason why we consulted what? Heading tag. Because we want to create what? Heading in our web page. The same thing. You will not just wake up and say you want to use image tag. So there must be a situation that requires what? Or require what? Creating or publishing what? Images or an image in your web page before you can call what? The IMG tag. Now, what kind of situation we call for iframe? That is what I want to explain. For example, you have a video uploaded in your YouTube page, your own YouTube page, or the client what? YouTube page. And you are the one building website for them. And they are asking you that what? Can you incorporate that video that they have uploaded in their YouTube page right in their what? Website, such that customer or visitor does not have to go to the YouTube page before they can watch the video. While they are in their website, the person can access what? The YouTube video, can watch it, not that when the person click on a link, it will take the person to the YouTube page. That is not what we are saying. You know, there's a difference between adding the YouTube page link. When the person click, it drives the person what? To the YouTube page. That is not it. The person will never connect to the YouTube page because you have embedded that video in the website. So that is what I meant by what? From another what? Source. So you can see that that content originally was not created in what? That website. You embedded it from what? The YouTube page as what? The another what? Source. Now, the first part of that definition says HTML documents. For example, in your own web page, there is a particular page where you have created an advert, and we are friends. So you are asking me that I noticed that a lot of people visit your website than mine. So can you help me to advertise this page in your website? That will only be possible with the help of what? The iframe. That means what? Let me use the right word. You are going to clone. That's the right word. Cloning. That is what? You are cloning what is in another word, person's what? Website, in your own website. The code you will have written, you are no longer writing the code. You are copying the code of that person to do the same function those codes were what? Programmed for in your own website. I'm trying to expatiate so that you know, oh, this is when to need what? Iframe. So let's quickly look at the structure, the declaration of iframe. So this is my development environment. This is where I am writing my code. And whatever code I write here, the content will be displayed to what? To the users via the browser what? Interface. So I go back to my coding page. Then I will use comment as well. Control and what? /. Remember, I told us that comments are just for code what? Interpretation. The program does not execute what? Comment. They are called just what? Narration. Just to narrate what we are doing. So what are we doing now? How to what? Embed external what? File in a web page with iframe tag. But I am going to do something. I am going to try as much as possible to embed within the what? Our project first before we look at what? External. So let's assume that
I come back to my root folder and I create a file. I call that file add. Pay attention, you know how we roll. When I'm done, I will observe what? Commercial break. And then you do what? You repeat exactly what I am doing right now. So that's why you should pay attention. So I'm creating this page. This is add.what? HTML. It's a new file. My intention is that there is an advert that I would like to display in some selected pages without me rewriting the code in those pages. So I will just use the iframe to clone it in those what pages. But this is where I am creating the advert itself. So the advert itself has a dedicated page where I want to put the images I'm advertising or the write-up. Then when I get to other pages, it's just what? To plug it in. So I will call my HTML default file by just typing what? HT and then select what? The HTML version. Then I'll say, welcome to my advert page. Welcome to my advert page. So on my advert page, I'll go to the body section, because if I right click on it, I told us that as a developer, as a programmer, whenever you are writing code on your development environment, which is what? The Visual Studio Code. So this Visual Studio Code is like our back end, where we are engineering what the user will see, but they will not see this code because they cannot even interpret that. They will be confused more. So the only thing they will see is what? This content. So if I right click now and open it with my live server, remember I told you that live server is an extension, is what? HTML extension for rendering your result, your coding result in a browser, right? So as I right click, what do you see here? Welcome to what? My advert what? Page. So where did I program it? I program it in the what? The title what? Tag. But you also notice that nothing is showing here, right? Because I have not programmed anything in the what? The body what? Section. So what exactly do I want to advertise the content? The content can be product image, right? It can be product name, the product description, say something about the product, and then probably what? Create a button that will take them to the product page. So now, how do we achieve what I just said now? I will come here, okay? So I will create a div. A div is HTML tag, which is used as a container to wrap two or more what? Other what? Elements. So whenever you call div, just know that, okay, you want to group what? Item. Now, why I call that div? Because I want to nest the two images inside it. Okay, so that in my CSS file, it will be easier for me to style, because once I speak to the container, all the item in it will also what? Adhere to the instruction. Because if I decide to create the images as independent what? Elements, that means in my CSS, I'll be calling them one after the other, because before I can move them. So div means what? Division. Okay, so it's a grouping tag. Now you will open it up. Once you open a tag up like this, it means you have just acknowledged that it's a container. Okay, now you give it a class. Don't forget the class method. I told you that as a programmer, particularly in web development, always learn to class your elements. Classing has a way of uniquely differentiating that element from what? Others. So that in CSS, when you call div and say color, all the div in this file will not what? Will not react. So if I use a unique class name, then I can talk to only that one with what? Its class name. So how do we add the class? The class is an attribute. Okay? I am recapping some of this because of the person that just what? Joined. The class is an attribute. And what do we say an attribute is? Like this name now, this is a tag name, meta. But there is additional what? Property called what? Name. There's another called what? Content. So content and name to this tag, they are attributes. In other words, attributes provide additional information about what? The HTML tag. Now, I am adding an attribute, which means that in the opening section of the tag, you space first. And then I'll type what? CN. Then press enter to display class. Then I'll say the class is what? Now, when you are classing your element, please always use a name that describes the purpose of that container. My intention of creating this container is to hold what? 2 images, right? So I will say what? img underscore what? Container. You can see the way the name of the class has already what? Suggested my intention. What do I want to do with it? This is how you work as a professional. You don't give your object class anyhow. Because we can say div you. What is you? How does it relate to what that tag is doing? So now I have uniquely what? Identified that div as what? img underscore what? Container. Then for us to add images, remember that we have published all our images in what? Our image folder, right? So I will just come here and reference image tag, img, and then press enter. Now you can see that each time you activate the img, it comes with 2 attributes, right? The src, which represents what? Source. Path, where is the image coming from? The image is going to come from here. So what you are indirectly saying is that when somebody log into this advert page, an image will be called from this folder through the what? The URL you put here. So in a situation where this image could not display due to the absence of maybe a plugin or the format that could have been used to read that image, then there will be an alternative description. Maybe what? Just to tell the person that what will have displayed there is what? Is photo. So which means that on no account, if this one is functioning, this one will never what? Function. If this one is functioning, this one will not also what? Function. Auntie, are you following? So now, my image, how do I call it from here? Let me open it up. This is the picture I want to call this NIT picture 1. That is the picture I want to what? Display as an advert what? Picture. So when I click here, I'll press the / on my keyboard. It will automatically call all the directories. Okay? So from here, you already know where you are going, right? Image, and then you know the picture you are targeting, which is what? This. Then if I go to the front end now, you see that what? You have automatically what? Program what? The image. But the next thing I want to do is that this image is not properly what? Placed. I want it to be, remember we said that we are bringing 2 images, right? So this is the first one. This could be the product image. Now for me to create another image, let me add the alternative text in case the image do not display. What they should see is what? Advert, or let's say what? Product piece. So let me deliberately remove something from here so that the image does not display and see whether it's going to display what? Product what? Piece. Now remember, I've removed that G, right? Just that G will render this what? Useless. Let's go back there. You can see that what? We can no longer find the what? The picture. Now, but it's showing us what? Alternative what? Text. So if somebody should get to this page now, we now know that, oh, I am supposed to be seeing what? Product what? Picture. That is the communication. So let me bring it back. And then go back. So I have the picture now. Now let's add the second picture. IMG again. Then / to call out your directories. Then navigate to where this time around, maybe I want this one. Let me check for image. So I have it here. Now in my CSS, this is not giving me a good user what? Interface. how do I know? These two pictures, they are not the same thing. The width are different, right? So which means that this is not a good user interface. So how do I style it? How do I reduce or increase the size? How do I make both of them to have equal size? How do I shift both of them to the center of the page? Then that is over to what? CSS. Now, based on the way I structure my document, I'm not going to be talking to the images like this. I will talk to the parent element. See, let me break it down. Let me break it down because we need to understand it. If you go to my village now and start calling Prosper, 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 particularly if you go to my dad village, Prosper, Prosper, nobody will know the Prosper you are calling. You will call Prosper from morning till night. They will not know that I'm the one you are referring to. But the moment you add Egwero Prosper, you see that Egwero now is my father name, right? That means what? You will not be able to access me easily through what? My parent name. Now, what I mean is that instead of me calling image IMG, there could be other IMG. So for the program to know which of the IMG you are referencing, if I say what? IMG underscore what? Container space image, it means that what? I am selecting this object with what? The parent name. That was the reason why I created div, so that in my CSS, my work will be easier for me. Am I communicating? So now let's go to CSS. This is our CSS file, right? Then I will now come here and add a comment, styling the what? Styling the what? The div elements. That is what everything you have inside the what? The div. They are called what? Its elements. Are you with me? With the parents, class name. What is the class name there? IMG underscore what? Container. So I'll press enter. Now I will call, remember I told her that if you are calling class elements, what do? You start with what? Period, which is called dot, right? Followed by the name of that class, IMG underscore, I expect us to pay attention. IMG underscore what? Container. And then open the CSS declaration block. And then inside it, I'll say width. Since I want to make all of them, now remember, if you say width here, look up width. I told us something in the last class that we need to know that the div is a block element. So once you declare a block element, it automatically takes the full width. And meanwhile, we want to move it to the center so that all the items inside it can move, right? So we need to start by reducing it from what? 100%. So that's what I'm calling width. I'll say from 100%, come down to what? 70%. So if I go back to the website now, it's already reduced. But why are we not seeing it? Because we have not activated border. So if I say border, and I say 1PS, and I say solid, and I say red, just for me to see the boundary, right? If I go back here now, you will notice that, what are we talking to? Are we sure that this, okay. Now, the issue is that this particular CSS is not connected to what? To the advert page. So we have to come back here, come to our head and say what? Link, then slash, you are calling what? CSS file, and then you are connecting this. If I go back now, you will see it. So you know what I did? Why I activated the border line, for you to know that we have actually reduced what? The div from 100% to what? Now, if you want to know again, just so that we can understand it, let me take off this one temporarily, right? And then let's go back. What do you notice now? Can you see that what it has extended? So what I've showed us is that what anytime you are working with block element, div, heading tag, paragraph, they automatically use the word, the entire word space. Now, but why did I reduce it? I reduced it because I have already know that for me to place these two images at the center of this page, that is somewhere here, I need to shift the container, because once I move the container, these two images will flow with it, right? Now, I cannot push this container. Why? Because there is no space for it to move in, because it's already taking what? 100%. So the ideal thing a developer should do is to reduce it from here to somewhere here, so that when you move it, then there will be space for it to move. Is that clear? So that was the reason why I added what? That 70%. So now if I go back now I have created what? Moving what? Space. Now, if I want to move everything to the center, I will just talk to that same element. I will just say margin, because I am pushing it from the outside, right? Auto. Margin auto will move a block element to the center of the page automatically. Can you see it now? The space you have here now, is it not equal to, which means that what the element is at the center. Sir, I don't want to move it to the center at once. I want to continue what? Pushing it from here gradually. What will I do? Just for you to know that there's another method. So let me comment this one out first. So if you want to move it from the left gradually, you will now say margin left. Okay, now you are specific. From the side you want to push it from. Margin left, I can say, okay, move by 20% first. Let me see the space that we create. Can you see it now? This what? 20%. What is the challenge I am having, sir? The challenge I'm having is that this space is not equal to this space. This is not good what? User what? Interface. It's not centralized. That is why we are saying that instead of you doing this manual calculation, just say what? Margin what? Auto. Let the browser calculate the margin by itself and place it at the center. So I'll take up this, and then bring back what? This. So I have it at the center. Now, I don't need this particular, except I want to frame it. Hello? If I want to frame, I want to create a very thick border line, wrapping the images. That is when I will now increase the border thickness from 1 to like 20. So if I go, you see that what? I have a very thick line as if you border it. Sometimes you want it like this. But if you don't want it at all, because having it will not make my website neat. Your website needs to be matured. The maturity of your website does not depend on the number of colors you use. The simplicity of it. No conflict. Element A is not fighting with what? Element B. Every UI and UX designer must consider what? The layouts that will give the users best experience, the colors that will also give them what? Best what? Experience. So these are factors. So now I don't want that line at all. I will just come here and what? Comment it out. Because I only use it to show us that what? That container has what? Border. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to, hello? I want to slant this image. I want to incline it like this. Now, it's not all of them. If it's all of them, I want to incline. This is where we are working, right? This is where we are creating the structure. So I will just come to this one and add what? Class. And say what? IMG what? 1. This one, class. I will also say what? IMG what? 2. Then if I go back to my CSS again, I will just say what? Does what? IMG what? 1, which means that you are talking to what? Only that one. You will now say what? transform, rotates. I want to slant it. Transform what? Rotates the angle. So I also could rotate to what? Angle 20 degree. 20 what? You say what? DEG. Like this. Which represents what? Degree. So if I go back there, what did you notice now? You see the way I place the image now? This is a very good display. You are trying to be creative. Are we following? Yes, sir. I'm recording it. The video will be made available. If you have issue, but I don't think you have issue. So now, the next thing I'm going to do is, what are we creating? We are creating an advert page that we are going to clone in other pages with what? The iframe. Hope you know where we are going. We are going somewhere. We are taking time to create the adverts that we will plug into other pages with the help of what? The iframe. So now, let me also say something about the product. So I'll go back to my ad page. I am leaving this container, right? I am leaving this container. You must understand your HTML structure. So outside it, you want to say something about those two images. There you need another tag to describe, to say something, which is what? P tag, paragraph tag. So you type P and press what? Enter. What do I want to say? Let's say I want to say something about computer. So I will just go to my Google and search for what? What is computer training? What is computer training? Now, I will take this information here, highlight everything, then go to your development environment. In between the opening tag, you make sure that your cursor is blinking there, Control V. So if I go back to the front end now, look at it. Sorry, this is not the page. Let me go back to the front end. Let me open it with my live server. So I have information here. But who can tell us what is happening? The P tag has already taken what? The style assigned to some of the P tag. So to make this one unique, I'll do what? I will class it. See, this is the reason why you should know class. So I'll come here. I'll say what? Class. This one is what? Adverts underscore what? P. Then go to my CSS file and say comment styling the advert what? P tag. So what is the name? Dot what? Add, is it AD? Is it AD? AD, right? Underscore what? P, right? Then open your CSS declaration block. Say color. Because I notice we are not seeing the color very well. Color, let me make it red so that we can see it on the screen better. So if I go back to the front end now, can you see that it's now visible now? But before it was taking the color we were given to one of the P tags, since we are linking the same CSS file to all of them. Now I want to increase the size a little, it's too small. So I'll now come here and say, okay, I'm still in that what? Selector. I'll say what? Font what? Size. This CSS now. For it to be visible, let's say what? 20 what? PS. Now go back there. It didn't even increase at all. That means what we have there is equivalent to what? 20, right? So let me make it 40 just for us to notice some changes first. Good. So it worked, right? So that 20, that 40 is too much. The average font size for reading contents in website should not, should be between 18, 20, 21. So let me use that same 20. Now I have an issue here. This text is too close to this edge. It's as if no breathing room. It's too tight. So I will move it from what? From the left, right? That is margin what? Margin left, right? Margin left, margin left, margin left. So if I do margin what? Left, and I say, give me 20 PS space. So if I come back here, did you see that it moved now? So I have reasonable space. Make sure that you don't allow your content to be touching the edge. It will make it difficult for the visitor to what? To see everything. Hope you are following. Now, the next thing I want is, okay, let's assume we want to also change the background, the page background. I'm doing all these things as revision, right? So the person that just joined. Now, because we have done most of these things before, right? Now, the whole of this page now, I want to give it black background so that these images can come out. So what will I do? I will now come to what? Now, if I say body here, it will affect all the body in other file, right? So I would rather do it inline in that particular page. I will create the CSS inside his own body. So I will just say what? Style. Remember the inline method that I've taught you. Style. I will say what? Background what? Color. I will say background color. Background color. Background color. I can choose what? Black. So let's go back and check. Good. So all I need to do is just to change this text to what? White. So you know where we started at? Here, right? I will just hover here. When it brings out the color box, I'll click here. And then I'll change to white. So if I go back now, they are now what? White. So let's assume that we are done with the what? The advert what? Page design. Now let's clone this. This is what I want. If I go to my index page, for example, in my index page, I want everything that I cloned there now. What happened? It's as if everything. We did not apply this rotate now. How come it's affecting? It affected the images we have there because it's the same file that we link there. That is the issue. That means we have the same container, image container there. Okay, no problem. It's their luck. Let all of them have the same appearance. Let's go. Provided the content did not change. Now, what I actually want is this. When somebody is in this page, everything that we created that was shown in that advert page should be here as an advert. So how do we embed it here? This is internal what? Embedding now. So what I'm going to do is this. I will come to this page and determine where do I want it to display, in between which of the elements. Do I want the what? The advert to what? To be embedded. I will say, okay, the advert should come after the last element. So I will now call what? The iframe. This is the iframe tag now, the main topic of the day. So everything we are learning since is just like we are preparing the content that we want to iframe in what? This particular what? Document. So this is iframe. You can see the syntax. Iframe is the name of what? The tag, right? Source is what? Is where you have to call that advert. That's where you put the advert, what you are cloning. So once I type what? AD, it will bring out what? The file. So which means that what? I have already what? Enveloped the whole of those content. So instead of me creating those content here again, I have taken my time to create them somewhere else. I am just plugging them what? In. Am I communicating? Yes, sir. Now let's go to the front end and check now. Let's see whether we will get what? The advert in this page. Can you see it now? If you scroll down now, this is the advert. Can you see it? This is the advert. So everything that we have in that page is what we have cloned here. Sir, this frame, look at this, frame. So it's frame, just like a box. Now I want to change the side because I'm not seeing everything. So how do I now style the side? I will now come here and say width. 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 It should be what? 400 what? PS. Let's go back again. You see that what? We now have it bigger now. Can you see it now? So I can say, okay, let it be 100%. So that it can, from that place, it should show everything full, the way it was showing in that what? Advert page. So let me come here and also change it to what? 100 what? %. So if I go back there now, good. So this is 100% of it based on the size. So if you scroll down, you see what? Everything. Everything. If you want to add the borderline, you can put number here. Let's say what? 2. So that you will see borderline. You can see that what? It's a generated what? Borderline because it's having black background. That's why you are not seeing it. So now I can go to another page. I can go to another page. Now in my About Us page, I want to also clone. I want to clone what? That advert. So when they are in my About Us page, I want them to see the advert. The advert can be a promo. 20% discount registration. So when they are in some key pages, you are what? Popping it up as what? Advert. So I will now use the same words, iframe. Iframe. What is the URL again? This, right? So if you like, you specify the word, the width immediately. So the width should be 300 PS. So if I run it again and check whether I can view the ad from there, you can see it. So it's also here. So what has this saved us from? Adibin, I am asked to develop a website as a programmer, and I am asked to repeat what I have developed in the ad page. That is why when I get to this place, I will start designing what I designed in the ad page. When I get to the other page, I will start all over. Is that not wasting of time? That is why you use what? Iframe. This is within your file. Now let's go to YouTube now. Remember I said that you can clone a YouTube what? Video in your website. Hello. So if it is YouTube, how do you go about it? You have to be writing your step now. Let's go back to our notes and summarize what? The steps. And we are going to use the YouTube step because once you understand the YouTube step, you can apply it also for the internal cloning. How to clone what? YouTube video. How to clone or embed YouTube videos in a web page using iframe. Using what? Iframe tag. Using iframe tag. Using what? Iframe tag. So step number 1, upload the video to YouTube page. That's your first step. Let's assume that you are working for a client. So you advise them to open what? A YouTube page, right? Every video that they want you to embed in their website should be, first of all, what? Be uploaded to their YouTube page. Are we together? So now, let me assume that we already have the video. Now I'm going to my YouTube page. Let's write fast and follow up now. Now, let me go to my YouTube page now. I have already uploaded some video there. There are some that the developer will disable. So when you try cloning, it will not go. So let's say I want to so this is my YouTube page. So let's assume that I want to embed this video in that website. So I first of all play it to see what I have there.
All right, so I want to.
Okay, now once you have opened the video like this, then you now go to share. Can you see this share now? Mm-hmm. You click on the share button, you will see what? Embed, right? Embed. Once you click on embed, you see what? What do you see here? Is it not iframe? So you copy this code, copy everything you have there. Copy it like this. Then go back to your website. Let's say this is where I want to put it. I will just paste it. Now, if I go to the front end now on this my website now, let's see whether I'm going to get a YouTube video there. Perfect, it's here. So if I play it here now, look at it, this is not a link. Directly from here now, I am watching it without going to my own YouTube page. So you can see how Iframe, even your Google Map, we are doing a website, you want to put Google Map, you go and embed it like this. You are not going to be writing code to build Google Map. You just get the iframe code of what Google Map. You did the person website. Then get Google Map API code so that you can change it to what the country you want. That is all.
That we consider.
Any question?
I told you that
time for my commercial breaks. What is the classwork? Let's complete the step first before you take it as your classwork. Let's complete the step. Where did you stop?
Building self-analysis.
Okay, now select the video and click on share button. Select the video and click on share button.
For deriving.
Select the video and click on what? Share button. Select what? And click on what? Share what? Button. Then click on embed. Click on embed. Click on what? Embed. Then copy the iframe code generated. Then copy the iframe code generated. Copy the iframe code generated. Then go to your development environment. That's your code. Go to your development environment. That is your code. And paste where you want the video to display. And paste where you want the video to display. And paste where you want the video to display. So your classwork, put it in writing. Design an advert page within your HTML, within your project. Design an advert page. Classwork. Design an advert page. Are you with me? Add image content and text content. Add image content and text content. Style the content to minimal appearance. Style the content to minimal appearance. Are you with me? Style the content to what? Minimal what? Appearance. Then embed the content in another file or in another page. It could be your index page, just like what I did. Embed the content in another file. So that is the first part of the classwork. Then the second part of it is that embed YouTube video in one of the pages. Embed the YouTube video in one of the pages.